10 seconds. Athletes, stand by. All right, ladies and gentlemen, switch your waves. Now we brought our ladies out to take on event number 3, our 3 rounds for time. 13-minute time cap, 9 muscle-ups with obstacle handstand walk, 36, 45, 54 single leg squats, and then the handstand walk obstacle course. Got 10 lovely ladies out here taking on this event. Down there in lane number 1. Sierra Crowley. Lane number 2, Jocelyn Fort. Lane number 3, Rachel Escalas. Lane number 4, Jennifer Alberg. Lane number 6, Lacey Baumgart. Lane number 7, Taylor Kinsley. Lane number 8, Becca Merritt. Lane number 9, Mary Kay Dreisilker. And number 10, Adele Willis. So those are ladies out here on the competition floor. We're only 60 seconds in. That's important. Our first athlete already on to those single leg squats. Jolene looking nice and smooth down there in lane number 2. Still our only athlete on those single leg squats. We are 90 seconds in. Merritt now, our next athlete onto the single leg squats. It's going to be Jolene Court, our first athlete. Back onto that handstand walk obstacle. Just past the 2-minute mark. Second place, Baumgart, Merritt, and Dreisilker, all working on that first set of single leg squats. But down there in lane number 2, Jolene still holding down that top spot. She's on her second round of ring muscle-ups. We're 3 minutes in. And Merritt advancing her chest piece. Dreisilker also advancing and making her way onto the handstand walk. Baumgart now joining those ladies. Jolene Court, done with her second set on the ring muscle-ups. She's now back to the handstand walks. Jolene Court able to get that handstand walk done. Now working on her second set here on those single leg squats. 45 reps here in round number 2. Jolene looking nice and smooth thus far. Once again here in her second round of 3. We're approaching the 5-minute mark, 13-minute cap. Looking to wrap up round number 2 on those single leg squats. And she will advance her chest piece forward. Jolene still holding down that top spot down there in lane number 2. The rest of our field still battling it out for second place. Merritt through her second round of muscle ups. Dry Silker as well, now working on her second set. It's going to be Jolene Clark down there in lane number 2. Able to finish out round number 2. She's got plenty of time here to finish out this final round. She jumps up for her final set of 9 ring muscle ups. Jolene. 3 reps in. Merritt now starting her second set of the single leg squats. Dry Silker joining her. So these ladies going rep for rep here. The battle for second place continues as Jolene Cord down there in lane number 2, looking to wrap up her final set of ring muscle ups. Jolene taking a deep breath and going back to work. Jolene able to finish out those 9 muscle-ups. Now back to the handstand walk. She's been strong thus far on the handstand walk. Another unbroken set there for Jolene. Just past 8 minutes in, competitors. Jolene able to get through her final set there on the handstand walk. Now, 54 single leg squats remaining. She starts to pick up the pace, looking for a strong finish here. On event number 3, day 2 of competition here at the Central Regional. Jolene getting called back due to a transition. That's not slowing her down. She's keeping the pace here just past the halfway mark on the 54. 2 segments remaining, 18 reps. Nine reps remaining for Jolene. Central, let's make some noise for our first heat winner. Jolene crossing the finish line. Setting the time to beat here in the Central at 9:43. Three minutes remaining, competitors, 3 minutes. Approaching 2 minutes remaining. Couple athletes now on to that final round. Becca Merritt working on her final set of ring muscle ups. Adele Willis now making her way back to the ring muscle ups for a final time. Dry Silker able to finish up her second round. Just under 90 seconds remaining, athletes. One minute, ladies. Thirty seconds. Strong attempt there by Becca Merritt, trying to wrap up her final handstand walk. Ten seconds. We're gonna count them down. 3, 2, 1. That is time. One more round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for heat number 1. Jolene Court setting the time to beat at 9:43.
I didn't think it was right.
10 seconds.
All right.
Stand by.
All right, cool, thanks.
All right, folks, here we go. Heat number 2, our women's individual event number 3. You saw heat number 1 throwing down. Now it's time for heat number 2. Our athletes in this heat. Lane number 1, Mel Schaefer. Lane number 2, Celine Steele. Lane number 3, Nicole Chavon. Lane number 4, Visa Gaffi. Lane number 5, Anna Rode. Lane number 6, Danielle Cook. Lane 7, Jessica Schwartz. Lane number 8, Camry Hill. Lane number 9, Kara Paisley. Lane number 10, Erin Van Den Driesch. All right, here we go. Got our first athletes moving out. Road lane number 5, done with the first leg. Schaefer in lane number 1, also done with leg 1, as is Van Den Driesch. Road will be the first athlete to the pistols, and again, how it shakes out first, folks, is it starts with 9 muscle ups, Then the handstand walk over both the obstacles. They can't break in the middle at the yellow dotted line. Then it goes 36, 45, and 54 single leg squats. So it will increase each round. 13-minute time cap. Right now, a time to beat set by Cork in the last heat, 9:43. Road the first to go to work. A number of athletes, though, closing the gap with her. Road in lane number 5. And Road advancing for the 45 rep marker. So she'll be putting herself in round 2. Now here's the flick. They have to handstand walk back over the obstacles to the rings to kick off the next round. Schaefer advancing. So right now it's Road, Schaefer, and Schwartz here. 1, 2, and 3. Van der Dries right there with them. Hill joining them on the trip back. And Road making short work of the trip back, and she is back at the rings at the 3-minute mark. Van der Dries is back at the rings. .3:31 on the time clock. Big shot to Jessica Schwartz on the jumbotron, lane number 7. Your heat leader there, Anna Road, lane number 5. Sagapi making it over the first obstacle. Sagapi makes short work of the second obstacle. Fee going to work on her pistols. The trip back in round number 2. We see a change in the lead. Van der Dries now finishing the first leg. Schwartz and Road now tied up for second. Van der Dries way to hang on. A little bobble there. She hangs tough. Right, we have a new leader, Erin Van der Dries, lane number 10. Road steps out and begins putting herself in second. Schwartz hustles to the line and will also kick off her second round. Nicole Holcomb also onto the round of 45 reps, round number 2. Got on 6 minutes. Hill joining. These ladies keeping it pretty close. Van de Driesch in the lead in lane number 10. Schwartz and Rode right behind her for second and third, as is Choman. Cook making it to the pistols. Fought her way through both obstacles. And three ladies moving their markers to the end. Rode, Schwartz, and Van de Driesch all but tied up as they head back to the rings for round 3. Minutes and 30 seconds. Hill advancing. Van de Driesch all the way back to the rings. Ready to kick off round number 3. 7 minutes and 55 seconds. Fumagalli also back ready to kick off her next round. Good split shot on the Jumbotron there, folks, of your leaders at this point, Rode and Van de Driesch. Both arriving at the rings and getting started at about the same time. 9, the number of reps they have to complete. Danielle Cook done and heading back. Schaefer now making it through that handstand walk over the obstacles and kicking off her round of 45. It looks like Van de Driesch done with the rings. Taking a brief pause to collect herself, rewrap her wrist, and get started on her handstand walk. Van de Driesch making it over the first obstacle, hitting the net yellow line. One obstacle away. And she'll kick down, take a brief pause. Rode about to make her way on her trip back. Finishing up strong, gonna make her way down to kick off her last 54 single leg squats. We're at 10:10 on the clock. Van de Driesch finding another gear. Ten minutes and 25 seconds on the clock, on track for a heat win for Erin Van de Driesch. Right now, Erin all alone on this particular portion of the course, but now she's got some company. Anna Rowe now makes her way out. And Anna hitting those single leg squats with a vengeance. Coming up on 11 minutes. Short sprint now to get started, as does Hill. Less than 18 reps to go for Van de Driesch. Road looking to make up some ground on her. Got 90 seconds remaining. And in the air for Van der Driesche, lane number 10. Road again, still looking to make up ground. Less than 18 to go for Ann. And Van der Driesche finishes up. Solid finish right around 11:50. A 13-minute time cap in place. Athletes, you have 60 seconds. Lane number 5, Anna Road, and she will cross the line. Right around 8:07. Schwartz, single leg squats with a vengeance, making up some solid time. And Schwartz will finish up right around 12:23. Athletes, you have 30 seconds. Hill in the final box. Hand in the air for Hill. And Cameron Hill will come across the line, finish up right around 12:43. Athletes, you have 10 seconds. And we're going to finish up event number 3 in 3, 2, 1. That's time. Big round of applause for all your athletes. Van der Driesche taking the heat.
And there are 4 athletes in this heat, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th in the point standings, all within 50 points of those 5 qualifying positions. One of the athletes not is surprisingly the number 1 seed coming into this out of the open, Chantel Lehner, but there's a reason behind that disappointing opening day.
Well, Lehner had a lower back injury coming into this event. She hurt herself about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she's had to take a significant amount of time off just to get herself here.
So she had a struggle on day number 1. It was a very quick start for Mandy Newsom.
Newsom came out strong in event 1 with a 5th place finish, but then fell off on event 2 with a 23rd, so she's going to have some work to do here.
Newsom, one of the athletes within 50 points of those 5 qualifying spots, actually only 26 points away from 5th.
Athletes stand by.
And away we go. Only 5 of 20 thus far have been able to beat the 13-minute time cap in our gymnastics test out of those 3 single modal events that are starting off the regionals.
This event is tricky because it's all gymnastics. It requires that you've got really good muscle-up capacity, that you've got skill on the handstand walks and getting up and over that handstand walk without too much of a falter. And then what we need to really pay attention to, Brandon, what we've seen with the earlier heats, especially in the men too, same exact thing is pacing on the single leg squats. But with the ladies, it's going to be even more important that they know their limits on the muscle up and they avoid complete failure.
Marcela Honeycutt in lane number 10 will be the first athlete to make her way on the handstand obstacle walk. Second place in the purple top, black pants, a few lanes above her is Emma Chapman. They made pretty quick work of the muscle-ups. I believe it was 2 sets for each of them. Solid work on the handstand walk for Honeycutt, and she'll begin the set of 36 single-leg squats. In lane number 1, we also have Nicole Holcomb, former Games athlete 2 times, 2014 and 2015. She holds the 2nd position out of the handstand walk.
Those pistols look really good. Steady pace, left, right. They both look symmetrical, left, right. And she's doing a really good job making sure that front leg, the heel stays off the ground so she gets credit for each rep.
Already onto the back half of the set of 36 as indicated by the segments on the floor. Here in this round, they'll advance after rep number 18. In future rounds, it'll be after every 15th rep in the next round. So to get a good visual on where everybody is in comparison to the leader, which currently is Marcela Honeycutt, entering today 20th in the point standings. She will advance the chess piece into that final segment on the 2nd round, indicating she is through the opening round of 3. Back back to that handstand obstacle walk, starting with that upward staircase. That's some solid composure right there.
I was going to say exactly the same thing, Brandon. That was a great catch for her to be able to compose herself at the very top, catch her balance, and then start again.
Unbroken, going back to back on this for Nicole Holcomb. Honeycutt is through that walk completely. Holcomb is going to be right behind her, and wow, did that make up a whole lot of time early on.
If you can make your way across both of those obstacles without dropping down, you can save yourself at a minimum 15 seconds per round. So that's becomes really, really important as we get deeper into this event.
Now, where that could backfire on somebody is the fatigue it creates later on, or also the fatigue it creates going right onto the rings, where it was about a 10-second transition from the walk to those rings for Nicole Holcomb, who's on the left.
I'm looking on the left-hand side of the screen. She does such a great job. She gets all the way to the top of the kip on the muscle up. She's just doing a tiny little lockout. Let's wait for her to see if she can maintain that throughout the rest of the event. But her kip is so strong that she's catching her muscle up with her elbows almost already locked out. That was a little bit deeper than the last set. We'll see if she can fix that in the second set. But she was catching it so high, she was already almost locked out. She was barely having to do a dip at all.
So she'll start the handstand walk in second. Marcela Honeycutt, already halfway through, will be the third length of the handstand walk out of 5 that they'll have to do if they complete this event in its entirety. And as that handstand walk is completed by Marcela Honeycutt, for more on that challenge, we go to Mike Arsenault.
If you're at home watching the handstand walks and thinking, who can I blame for designing such an apparatus, look no further than Andy Tim. He's a former gymnast at Arizona State, and he actually competed in the team competition in Salt Lake City for the South Regional last weekend, and he works for American Athletic, and the company designed this handstand obstacle apparatus. And Andy told me last weekend that the surface is a little more tacky, or it has better grip than a typical gymnastics mat. Also, the foam within the mat is a little thicker than you typically find in a gymnastics gym.
Thank you, Mike, as Marcela Honeycutt continuing to hold the lead on the near lane, lane number 10. About 10 reps ahead of Nicole Holcomb in the pink top, all the way on the far end of the screen. Third place is Emma Chapman in the purple tank top. Seeing a very controlled pace by all 3 of these athletes here on the single leg squats.
Yeah, you can see her taking her time, moving from left to right. It looks very deliberate. She's wearing flat-soled shoes, which is a little bit different than a lot of the guys were wearing Olympic shoes where the heel is elevated. But I'm looking at those shoes there. She's got a very flat-soled shoe. That requires ankle, knee, and hip mobility in order to get down to the ground and keep your heel flat.
Amazingly enough, she does have those flat shoes where you're talking about that pitch in the heel, but she's still keeping that foot flat on the ground.
Yeah, the mobility through the ankle and knee is there's no question. You can see it. She's getting all the way down to the bottom of that squat, and the heel stays tight to the floor.
So Honeycutt will begin round number 3 at the 6-minute mark. Still 7 minutes until the time cap. She's 29 seconds quicker than the pace set by your current leader, Jolene Quirk, who is finishing this one at 9:43. She closed out round number 2, or we got to this point about 6 minutes, 20 seconds in. Starting to have a little bit of difficulty getting going, and that was a little bit of a yellow flag that we saw 1 round ago with the pace that she had making her way over this obstacle.
Pacing is critical in an event like this because you need to be aware of your shoulder fatigue. You can potentially kick up and just not have anything to give, and trying to get up and over that obstacle while your shoulders are smashed. You need to pay close attention to the fatigue factor.
New leader will be Nicole Holcomb, who once again goes unbroken for both of those obstacles back to back. The question I have, though, is we've seen how much that slows her pace when it comes to the muscle-ups.
Well, let's take a look and see if she's catching it as high as she was in the last round, where she comes so high over the top of the rings, throws her head through, and just has a short little lockout, so she's not catching it completely bottomed out in the rings.
That was a rough dismount there for Honeycutt, not just because of coming down like that, but watch the rings and how much they're moving. How much does that add to somebody when they try to get restarted?
You know, you have to time your jump. You're looking up at the rings, you're trying to figure it out. Now, that was actually, it wasn't so bad, and she had enough time to go get some chalk, and they settled themselves down. But if they're swinging wildly, there's not a lot you can do other than wait for them to settle down or try to jump up and time it just right. But those rings are moving quite a bit.
Leaders continue to be Holcomb on the left, Honeycutt on the right. The beginning stage of the third and final round, and once again on the muscle-ups, it's going to be advantage Honeycutt just barely ahead of Holcomb. We're only looking at a 1 second differential.
Holcomb, last time she went to kick up on the way out towards the single leg squats, she fell once or twice before she was able to get her momentum. But once she did get up the steps, she went all the way through unbroken.
Both athletes just slowing considerably when it comes to navigating with that obstacle on the first time, but Holcomb successful, and she's going back to back once again. This will be the final time she'll have to navigate this course.
At this point in an event, you know your shoulders are smoked, but if you can just cross that line, now it's just single leg squats, you're finished.
Wow, that was fantastic composure, just hanging with that. It looked like she was about to fall 2 or 3 times on that walk. She will be on her way into the final round. 54 single leg squats, advancing every 9 reps. Nobody else is through the handstand walk in round number 3. Emma Chapman in those black pants, center of the screen, purple top. She's making her way through that second obstacle, but struggling. That would have been good for second. She'll come down. Honeycutt once again back into second place with that misstep by Chapman. She'll make her way down the stair step and onto the single leg squats, but she's gonna have to make up 18 reps on Nicole Holcomb. Won't be for the event win. That time has come and gone. 9 minutes, 43 seconds will stand by Jolene Quirk with 1 heat remaining. You have to go all the way back to 11:49 for our current second fastest time.
See all of the girls using their arms to counterbalance. They'll pitch their arms forward to try to keep their balance as they drop into that squat.
It's been a long journey back to the competition floor for Nicole Holcomb. Since the last time you've seen her on a regional stage, she's had 2 back surgeries to repair some herniated disc issues. She's back here in 2018 and starting day number 2 in solid fashion. Heat 3 win for Nicole Holcomb. Race for second will be Marcela Honeycutt on the near side of the screen, Emma Chapman in the middle of the screen. Separated by about 8 reps. And it's gonna go to Marcela Honeycutt, as it was her and Holcomb that were 1-2 pretty much the entirety in this heat. That's a well-deserved second place finish. Chapman making her 3rd regional appearance, sitting in the top 20. That is a unfamiliar position, so it's a good rise up the standings for her. 37th a couple of years ago, 29th last year. And she comes into this event in the 14th position after day number 1.
That's nice, steady progress. As a coach, as an athlete, you'd love to see that kind of progress over time.
Our 3rd finisher, 11 minutes, 34 seconds. That'll still be good for 4th provisionally with 1 heat remaining. Carla Wolford working on round number 3. 34-year-old making her 3rd individual appearance, and she's somebody that says that she doesn't take any day for granted. And she makes her way over that obstacle, and the reason for that is 10 years ago she was involved in a snowboard accident. Was actually stranded on a mountain, unable to move for a half hour. that she broke her back in that accident. And since then, she said she's just going to go for whatever she wants to go for at this point, taking no day for granted. And here she is on the regional stage for a third time.
That's an amazing story.
Wolford in lane number 2, black top, purple shorts. She's trying to hold on to the position as Chantel Lehner in the center of the screen, working on that same segment towards rep number 18 of the 54. Lane number 3, see Bridget Erickson as well, white top, blue shorts. These three racing for 4th, 5th, and 6th in the final few seconds till our 13-minute time cap. It's a no rep for Lehner. Did a good job of composure to stay back on that one leg and not get a second consecutive no rep. We're not sure who's going to win that race between those three. We'll have to wait for the official scoring, but we do know who won this heat, and it will be good for second in the event with one heat remaining, and that is Nicole Holcomb at 10 minutes and 31 seconds.
Holcomb was super impressive all the way through from start to finish on this event. What would impress me most was her ability to move through each one of the apparatus without too much of a struggle. Her muscle ups so strong, every single set, really deliberate and thought out. But what impressed me most, Brandon, was her ability to get over the handstand walk apparatus unbroken. She would take that stride all the way across, and a couple times we saw her bobble, but she was able to recover, compose herself, and continue to go without setting her feet down.
Slow and steady won the race for Nicole Holcomb. She'll be second in the event as we have one heat remaining. Our final group of 10 to take on event number 3 will include the current bubble athlete after Dana Moore and Jessica Griffith. She will be in lane number 3. Keep an eye on bodyweight specialist Kelly Jackson, who will be in lane number 10. And away we go on this 13-minute time cap, event number 3.
There's Brooke Wells making this thing look easy right from the very beginning. And what we're looking for, Brandon, the things to pay attention to is know your limits on your handstands. This is very shoulder focused between the muscle ups and the handstand walks. But what we've seen to be the critical point throughout the course of the day is the pacing on the single leg squats. We need to be aware of how fast we're going. We want to try to get those done as quickly as we can and limit your transition time back and forth.
Now, while Brooke Wells and Christy Aramo did pretty much exactly what we thought they were going to do, never leaving the top 3, they're 1 and 2 in the standings, the story behind them has been Amanda Barnhart, somebody that really has been very, very quiet in the build-up to this. The second qualifier to Central East, but you didn't hear a whole lot about her. She sits in 3rd.
Well, in event 1, she took a 3rd place. In event 2, an 8th place. That's a great start. Anybody else would be thrilled with those scores. So right now she's 4 points up. I think it's a great position for her to be in.
Now 22 points out of the top 5 is Kelly Jackson, but when there's body weight movements or anything gymnastics, you keep an eye on her, but she is struggling early on that apparatus.
Not what I would have expected with a body weight event, a gymnastics-based event, but let's see if she can pull herself together.
Oh, Amanda Hardiman coming down right on top of her head on that staircase. Almost turned that into a handstand push-up. She does appear to be okay, but Jackson once again missing on this stair step. And with Jackson's struggles, the only one that's not really struggling at this point is Michelle Fumagalli, who's 4th place in the point standings coming into today. There she is in the blue and black. She leads the way, about 15 seconds ahead of Brooke Wells in all gray in lane number 5, and Amanda Barnhart in the white headband in lane number 4. Here's Michelle Fumagalli, the former soccer player at the University of Notre Dame.
Making those single leg squats with really easy left to right, very symmetrical.
Now she enters today 4th overall, but far from comfortable, just 16 points ahead of Jennifer Smith in 6th. So there were always those 2 red flags when it came to Brooke Wells. One was endurance. We can cross that off the list after 3-3 yesterday in a 2nd place finish. The other is high skill gymnastics. I would consider single leg squats and muscle ups and this handstand walk to be high skill. Here she is in 2nd.
And she's doing those single leg squats about as fast as you can do air squats. So I think she has clearly fixed some of the holes in her programming.
And I say here she is in 2nd. Well, now here she is in the lead as she has passed Michelle Fumagalli on those single leg squats, and she'll be the first one to attack the handstand walk on the way back to close out that first round. And for more on our points leader, we go to Mike Arsenault.
Brandon, you mentioned the test, and yes, Brooke passed the test yesterday with a long endurance workout, and the changing of her athletic ability in terms of making her more well-rounded, well, she was able to keep her strength, evidenced by how she performed in Linda. Yes, her focus has been large volume gymnastics, so she has really been working on long sets of muscle up, so look for her to do very well in that implement. She also told me earlier that she is confident in the handstand obstacle. However, she said the most difficult portion is the incline, because as soon as you start to traverse the incline on your hands, gravity wants to push you backward, and she did fail twice during her first round, obviously not impacting her right now as she's on the top of this heat so far.
This might be a warning sign for anybody in the games field coming up this summer, as Wells, I don't know what there is left for her to conquer at this point, as current bubble athlete Jessica Griffith did make the games last year as well. She enters this just 12 points ahead of 6th place Jennifer Smith, so she is on the bubble entering our second day. Jen Smith, the first athlete out after day number 1. Somebody that's just used to being in that position, hovering around the top 5. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Brandon, really efficient muscle up. She's turning those shoulders over really quickly, popping her head through the window, getting herself in a position where she can pop out of the dip with a little bit of a kip. So she brings the knees up towards the chest and then extends those arms out to full lockout.
Wells through the muscle ups in round number 2, starting in on the second handstand walk, and it's a second straight issue that she's had on that stair step. Christy Aramo is through the muscle ups in round number 2. Michelle Fumagalli as well. You see her on the far right side of the screen. Aramo between Wells and Fumagalli. And there's a second consecutive rollout for Wells. Aramo stalling out on the stair step. And our 3 leaders are spinning their wheels in the mud right now. Wells and Aramo getting that momentum going. Fumagalli behind them, and all 3 of them will kick down at the midway point, so they all figured it out. It just took a few seconds there.
It's a funny thing with handstand walks because you can kick up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times and just immediately drop down, and you just can't quite get your balance. And then there's other times that you will kick up. Even under fatigue, I find myself able to kick up, and I can walk 30, 40, 50 feet. You just get into a rhythm. So it seems to me like some of these girls are looking for that rhythm. They can't quite get it, and all of a sudden they'll nail it and make their way right across.
This will be our 4th lead change as Christy Aramo now out in front. Here on the set of 45 single leg squats, they'll advance every 15 repetitions. We're seeing a couple different styles here. Aramo going with the foot grab, Wells just going with both hands off her feet. What do you think about the form that we're seeing from our 3 leaders here on the single legs?
All different styles and techniques. You can see Brooke, she takes that leg and pushes it way out to the side. And then you've got Aramo who grabs almost the midsole of the shoe, trying to keep that heel off the floor. I think they're all doing a great job at putting together the reps. And that's why there's no one right way to do this. You have to work around your own body mechanics, your flexibility and mobility through the ankle and knee. Like I said, Brandon, there's no one way, but one size fits all.
We're closing out round number 2. The event record is already a minute and a half away by the ultra impressive performance from Marissa De Los Santos 1 week ago, the South Regional in Salt Lake City. That one's going to be safe, and it might be safe throughout the entire course of the regional season as our 4 leaders put the finishing touches on round number 2. It's going to be Brooke Wells back in first, Christy Aramo in second, Fumagalli trying to hold off Jen Smith for third. But just like in the point standings, Wells and Aramo starting to separate from the pack. Aramo quick kick down, right back up. Wells at the halfway point as both hands got past that yellow line. She'll kick down. Aramo about to join her. As Mike brought up, the concern for Brooke was that incline. It's actually been the thing that she's handled the best thus far, though.
Yeah, it seems like the points that she's been struggling on is the stair climb up, coming off of the muscle-ups and getting that initial few reps in.
In a field where 15 of the 40 women are making their regional debut, it's 3 Games veterans that lead the way here in the heat, as it's Wells and Aramo 1-2, Jen Smith in third, halfway through the handstand walk to close out round number 2. Aramo and Wells into round number 3, the third and final of our rounds. Smith struggling to get going on that second half of the handstand walk back towards the rig. Keep in mind, just 12 points out coming into day number 2. Smith will join the fellow Games veterans, but Christy Aramo make her way to the final handstand obstacle walk. Don't believe this is going to be an event win, as that will belong to, from heat number 1, Jolene Quirk, as that time only 15 seconds away. Aramo at the halfway point on the handstand walk.
You can see Aramo does a really good job of keeping her legs tight together. She stays very organized from the top. Different style than what we can see Brooke Wells doing off on the left-hand side of the screen. But as Christy kicks up, she keeps those legs nice and tight, and she makes her way across the obstacle without too much left to right or front to back movement.
Aramo, all she has left is 54 single leg squats. She'll advance every 9 reps, getting a no rep right out of the gate. Now that was okay on the other side because it was still technically the first rep. There wasn't a complete, you have to complete them in alternating legs. There is a look at how far of a lead it winds up being. As Aramo already through 18, now 20 reps. Wells making her way down the stair step. And she's going to have to make up nearly half of this set of 54. Wells, double time on the single legs. She might be able to pull this off. As Aramo trying to hang on to that huge lead that she had getting to the single leg squats. And I think she knows, oh, there's going to be a no rep there. I think she knows that Wells is closing in because the pace is picking up for both athletes. 18 reps to go for Aramo. As she's picked up the pace, these reps have gotten a little bit squirrely on her. Final 9 for Christy Aramo, and it might have been just enough of a lead to hold off a hard-charging Brooke Wells for the event win. There's going to be several times from our prior 3 heats that are going to factor in already. But the heat win is going to go to Christy Aramo. 11 minutes, 42 seconds. There's going to be at least 4 times that will be ahead. It might be a top 5 finish for Aramo. Wells will be our second finisher in heat number 4 at 12 minutes and 1 second. Jen Smith was struggling in round number 1, but she has made her way through the field, and this is huge for Jennifer Smith. And she's ahead of Barnhart, Fumagalli, and Griffith. There's Fumagalli in the blue shirt far right side of the screen, 1 spot behind her.
30 seconds.
A 12-point differential. It doesn't take much to cut into that or make it up entirely. Smith in the yellow and blue trying to hold on to that position ahead of Michelle Fumagalli in blue and black. 15 seconds until our time cap.
Jen Smith is cycling those single leg squats so fast.
Gonna count it down, folks. Finishing up this heat. 3, 2, 1.
And in our final heat, we'll only have 2 out of 10 able to beat the 13-minute time cap. And it's no shock the 2 that did it. Brooke Wells at 12:01, but 20 seconds quicker. Christy Aramo, 11:41.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for all your athletes here.
Right from the beginning, it was a battle between Wells and Aramo, and Wells was so strong on the muscle ups. Her handstand walks, there were a few checks in there. She had fell off a couple times trying to get up those stairs on that first apparatus. Pistols looked great from start to finish. It was an incredible race toward the tail end of this event where Aramo and Brooke Wells came down to the last round of muscle ups. They both, Aramo pulled away from the muscle ups first, got to the single leg squats. About 18 reps ahead, Brooke Wells almost closed the gap, but Aramo takes first place in heat 4.
So Aramo will take the heat, but it's only going to be good for 5th in the event. Jolene Quirk's time from all the way back in our opening heat will continue to stand as our event winner. But Christy Aramo might find herself back atop the point standings for the 2nd time this weekend as we hit the midway point, 5th place in this event, and she is with Mike Arsenault.
Christy, a heat win here on event number 3, not an event win because we had some faster times in the previous heat, but what a race at the end between you and Brooke Wells. How conscious were you of Brooke as she was kind of breathing down your neck on the final set of the one-legged squats?
Oh, I knew she was there. Her pistols are a little bit faster than my cycle rate, so I was just trying to keep an eye where she was and push my pace without getting no rep any more than I already was.
It looked like most athletes during this heat had a struggle in the handstand obstacle, specifically the incline or the stairs. Why was that such a difficult portion of the obstacle?
I'm not sure. I think like if you don't hit that first step right, your rhythm's a little bit off and you're kind of moving side to side. So it's a matter of just getting your hands in the proper spot, and then you felt good. So a couple of us, I think, just kind of missed on that first step.
We have a quick turnaround between event 3 and event 4 coming up later this afternoon. What do you do to ensure you're ready for the next event?
I'm going to drink a ton, have some quick carbs, and then stretch out, cool down, sit on the bike for a little bit, bring my heart rate down, and just kind of cool off.
Great, thank you. Christy Aramo, heat winner.
Heat winner, top 5 finish yet again, so that's 3 straight to start the weekend for Aramo as her and Wells continue to separate themselves from the rest of the field here at the Central Regional. We still got one more event remaining for our men and women, as we'll have the men's event number 4 coming up next.